nice. Now that that's all sorted out. Well, welcome. I was really glad to send you folks the box so that this way we can have a couple drinks on stream. This way you can share some stuff. I will make one suggestion. Ooh, that's a good brewery on your t-shirt. That's actually not far down the road from me there, Jordan.
Yes, sir.
So one of the beers that I did send you is called Talk Birdie to Me. The only suggestion I have for that one beer is that if you're going to drink it, if you have cinnamon, put it in a glass and add it to it. It tastes 10 times better.
Oh, Jesus.
So yeah, it's just like a slight suggestion. But I'm gonna go ahead and open the same exact one actually.
Now I feel like I should go get a glass.
Yeah, right.
You can get a glass if you want to. It's totally cool.
Get a little one.
Yeah, go wild.
I'll get a little one.
So I'll let her grab her glass.
I jumped straight into the M16.
Oh, MI6. MI6.
I didn't even say it right.
It's all good. MI6. So a lot of their beers, a lot of their IPAs that are like staples in-house are all after James Bond sort of theme. So their triple IPA is called Q. You know, they have Secret Agent, Double Secret Agent. So yeah, it's really great to have you on. I'm really excited to have you guys try the beer. Give me some feedback. I mean, everyone likes to try things, and sometimes people don't like the weird shit that I like, or I make weird shit. So I made a lot of the sours at one point at Kettlehead Brewing. Talk Birdie to me is actually just a little spillage. It's all good.
I can't take my headphones off. They're under my arm. They're under my arm.
I've kind of lost you. I can't.
Can you hear me?
Only just barely.
Only just barely. Okay, hold on 1 second.
Yeah, there's like this loud hum.
Is
in
that
the
better?
background. Yeah, kind of. I don't know what that background noise is though. That's like really taking over.
Yeah, that's weird. That's not even from me.
Good question.
Hold on. Maybe it's, I don't know if it's me, but 1 second.
Sure. Christine has made a huge mistake.
Okay.
Her beer has exploded.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So we're cleaning that up too. This is going swimmingly.
Sorry, folks. Oh, it was actually Jordan.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, that was my dryer.
Oh! I was like,
I
it
didn't
sounds
think
like
it
a
could be.
vacuum going.
Picked up that fucking loud.
Going hard.
Oops.
It's gonna be mad hot.
Oh, you know it.
What are you drinking over there, Jordan?
I got a night shift hoot. I work for a night shift
Oh,
down here.
do you really?
Yeah, and then I got a Lovejoy.
Nice,
IPA.
nice. That is a great place. I haven't had a hoot yet. I've been dying to try those seltzers, so I'm really looking forward to those.
Yeah, they're good. And the reason I have this Great North shirt on is because we distro for them down here too. So.
Do you really? I didn't even know that.
Yep.
Small world.
Yep.
The Norths are good people. So I feel bad. We'll wait for Christine to come back. After I sabotage her.
She's got to do the cinnamon eventually.
So, tell me what's been going on with you guys. What have you guys been doing during this whole shit show of a past year? I mean, you're working for night shift. Andrew, what are you doing?
I sell cars now.
Okay.
That's been a weird shift in my personal and professional life.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can take anything from this, is don't trust a word I say. Everything that I'm about to present to you is false. I'm just kidding. It's been fun. I enjoy it. Something different than I've ever done before, and I wouldn't have gone into it if it wasn't for, everything that's going on,
The
kind
candy
of
and
forcing
everything.
that direction. Yeah, that whole thing.
Well, it is very weird for people having to go out of their comfort zone and find like a whole new field during this just to get through it, and then when we get back to some normalcy, then you guys can go back out on the road and things like that. I'm definitely sure you guys are looking forward to that. I mean, I know you just recently did in February a live show.
Yes. Yeah. I can't wait to get back, and I know George probably more so than anybody is dying to get back out there.
Yeah. It's really put a stint in all of our big plans.
Yeah.
And
So-
booking and stuff.
What did you guys have a tour booked when this all started, or were you getting ready to head out? Like, what was that like?
Yeah, we had just gotten back from a 3-week tour with Frail Body,
Okay.
and then we had penciled in, like, planned out, like almost 100 shows, probably like 95 for sure for the whole year.
Welcome back, Christine. Sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. Sorry.
And yeah, we were I was working on May, booking that tour out for another like 3 weeks, and then shut down in March, so everything just got canceled from there. But we were supposed to do 3 weeks in May, like a month in July for like the whole US, West Coast and everything. We were supposed to go to Europe. We were planning that. We were getting that ball rolling, and then we were gonna do a November 2-week tour to end it. So
It's sad talking about it.
Yeah.
Running it down like that, I'm like, oh shit, we had a lot to do.
That's crazy that you guys had 95 shows, pretty much almost 100 shows booked, and you were working on towards more. So, I mean, this whole 2021, have they allowed you guys to start potentially booking some shows to get ready, or do they have like is there something in line? Like, I'm curious because I know that there's a lot of like comedians starting to go out because certain states are allowing them, and I just wanted to hear your feedback. Like, what are you all up to doing? Are you booking some shows? Are you waiting to hear still?
yeah, waiting to hear if anything. We're not really in any rush because I just feel like if it's like we're not important, like we're not like The Weekend or something. So people barely come out to see us now. So it's like if we can get the okay and everyone's cool, then next year we'll probably start doing it because we're working on an album now. So we're just kind of writing and chilling.
I also think it's going to be like a mad dash of people once things start opening up. Everyone's going to be trying to book, and I bet that while that's happening, the first like round of shows that gets booked is going to be like half canceled. Like, I feel like if we're going to plan a tour, it needs to be like things have been going and they will continue.
1,000% not going to be canceled.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. It's just not worth it to try to jump in on a maybe. Like, that makes no...
Yeah.
Especially, like, who knows, like, which job is firing which member of this band for leaving, or like, on the hypothesis of leaving. So, I don't want to pull that trigger until I know we're playing those shows.
Yeah.
Now, if there were to be an outdoor show that was 100% safe and was by rules and regulations, would that be something that you all would be interested in? I'm talking like
Depends.
end of summer.
I mean, maybe outdoor shows are hard. Like if we were playing at night,
Yeah.
maybe, because we have lights and stuff that don't really
Translate
translate
well.
at all.
Oh no, definitely. I understand 100%. But I mean, like, if
yeah.
that was something that would be possible, would you guys be interested?
Yeah, I mean, I think outdoor is like an entirely different question and like a one-off versus like trying to tour and travel. But yeah, outdoor if everything makes sense, because outdoor shows can be difficult on a smaller scale, as in like not a massive act. It can just be hard to translate well. And so we always we want to sound good in a small room. We want to sound good in like a bigger venue. We want to sound good outside. So
We sound weird as fuck outside right now, though. That's it's hard to mix for the void.
Yeah.
I totally understand that. The nice part is that they're building a lot of what seems like music venues here in New Hampshire. And a lot of them are almost like the Hat Shell in Boston. So sort of like a mini amphitheater. So this way you wouldn't sound weird as fuck. You would actually, things would translate. I totally understand like a giant open stage like a Warped Tour where you're like, everything that's supposed to echo and reverberate just sounds like a fucking tin can. And you're really upset about it. And you're like, oh, this sounds real full. You know,
you'll never question if your guitar is turned up loud enough more than when you're outside and it just disappears. And you're like, I swear it's the same, it always is, I promise, and it's just gone.
Yeah, except for I'm pretty sure in those scenarios it still sounds better than we think.
Probably.
Because it all goes away from us.
Yeah.
And then you keep telling them to turn the monitor up and they're like, it's at fucking max, how much more do you want it?
Yeah.
So
it's feeding back.
Give us a rundown of kind of like your past and not current band, but past bands that you've done or been in, because I'm just really interested how you guys met, how everything came to be. Went to high school with Andrew and Matt, so kind of know them from the past. So Jordan and Christine, more along the lines of Spotlight on you two. But also, Andrew, I want to know more about you getting into music, getting into the local scene, stuff like that, because I was part of a totally different music scene where it was all pop punk and metalcore, and then hardcore kids had their own scene, and that was really cool to dabble in. But like, you know, the indie sound that you guys have, along with that really hard prog rock sound, that's just... I have to say, the sound you guys have is so unique. And it's awesome. It's really awesome, because there's never bands anymore that catch people's attention. Everyone's really fucking cookie cutter. And we go through those phases, right? You go through the phases of like pop punk that's real whiny, and then you get pop punk with breakdowns, and then you get pop punk that decides to be fucking techno, and then you're like pop punk that sounds like the Beatles, you know, and where's everyone fucking going? Like, you know, it's not really evolving. You're just playing a different genre with the same band name. Whereas you guys, you've kind of nestled yourself in this nice little niche of punch you in the face melodic. And I think that's a really nice way of saying it.
Good way to describe it.
Punch you in the face melodic is just... Because
I
would listen to this while I was brewing. Like, I literally would have my headphones in, and I'd be mashing a batch at the brewery. And just listening to it, the haunting vocals, the just punchiness of everything. I was just like, my boss would come in and be like, who are you listening to now? And I'd show him, and he'd be like, oh, this is great. I can listen to this. He actually said you guys remind him of the Deftones. So that was him, and I didn't hear it until he said it. So for you guys to laugh and say there it is, it didn't come to my mind. You know what I mean? But to him, he was like, I fucking love the Deftones. I was like, all right, so I guess you're going to be listening to them now, too. So
wait till he hears the next one.
So, like, where did you guys come from? Where'd you get the influence, and where did you start out playing, you know?
Jordan, your story is way more interesting band-wise than either of us. So.
Yeah, well,
no, go ahead, Christine.
I was going to say, like, I mean, I met Andrew at work like 8 or 9 years ago, and it was at the time him and Matt and the like former drummer, also a Matt, and Andrew was playing bass at the time and really wanted to play guitar, and I sort of was like, I'll learn to play to fill in while you guys write stuff until you find somebody. Like, that was kind of my like, I'll just figure it out, because I'd always wanted to play bass and just had never picked it up and had anybody to like try to play it with. So I was like, it'll just be fun. And then it sort of just stuck. And then we were doing that. And then our drummer was, at the time, was making like different life choices, gonna like buy a house, do these things, and didn't really like want to keep doing it. And was like, I think, you know, at this point I'm gonna leave.
Very not punk rock of him.
And we, yeah. And Andrew and I had a conversation, because we used to play with like some shows with Jordan's band before he joined us. And Andrew and I were like, we got to ask him if he wants to do it. and we were at a show. Was it one that Jordan you were playing?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were like, hey,
Getting scouted.
you want to do
Getting
this?
scouted.
So that's how that happened with Jordan. But Jordan had an actual active band before this, whereas I didn't. And
It's just been this one, yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
That's pretty awesome. I mean, first run and you're a Death Wish Inc. band and getting your name out there and everything like that, I think that's really awesome. Funny story is that I think 99% of people did what you guys did, where you knew someone in an active band and you were like, we have this project and we want to know if you want to do you want to jam on it? Like, that's usually just do you want to get lunch on Saturday? And we could just jam in the garage. Like, everything's already set up. You don't have to bring your kid over. Like, things like that. So we used to con people all the time, and that's how I would bounce around from band to band and end up being with certain people all the time in those bands, just because it was really convenient to see them at a show and be like, notice you're not playing as much anymore. Notice you don't want to be playing that music anymore. Shit like that. It was really Weasley, but at the same time, you're like, I think we'd get along better and be a better clique. You know what I mean? Kind of fun.
Did we weasel you, Jordan?
Huh?
Did we weasel you?
do we have to pull
Were
that
you
arm real hard?
hoodwinked?
I was always a fan. I'd always said that they were my favorite local band, just because they had a different one. It was a more professional sounding aspect of the band, but also just no one was playing that kind of stuff. And it's if you're from Revere, it's you're either playing death metal or that's about it. It's a lot of metal bands. It's a lot of metalcore bands. It's a lot of down Sammy's patio. So that's where I met Matt and Andrew at the time when they were a trio. And then once Christine joined, we had all played different shows and booked. I booked them for some shows too. But no, I definitely wasn't. I was honored. I'd always watched them, and I was like, I know what I could bring to this band if I played with them, and proof is in the pudding, I guess, man.
Also knew that.
It went both ways.
And it was also a challenge because I hadn't played music like that. I liked music like that, but my band was Mars Volta, Queens of the Stone Age, Muse, Radiohead stuff.
Okay.
And
So,
so
I can fuck with that.
yeah, it's called the Versa Contrast.
Okay.
There's still stuff up online, but that's where my it was not straightforward rock, but more rock as opposed to building and climax and all that stuff. So it was a nice creative experiment for me at first.
You liked making music that made people feel feelings other than sad boy music, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
That most people in Revere played, mostly
Right,
metal
yeah.
or mostly super sad boy music.
Yeah.
So I totally understand. I played a lot of the sad boy music, unfortunately, but I also did play a lot of metalcore music too, so that was fun as well. But yeah, it is cool to hear you say you had never played music like that before, and then you had the confidence to say, I know what I can bring to this band, and you all felt the same thing as well. So that's really cool to hear that you guys kind of knew that you could make something bigger than what you had already had. If you catch my drift.
Oh yeah.
Who were some of your local influences in the area coming into the scene? Who were some people that you all enjoyed watching? Who were some people that you would pick their brain about, things like that?
Yeah, I saved this one for you. I've been thinking about this question since you sent the packet, and I know this might hit you in a spot, but growing up, I went to a lot of the Vanna shows at the Beachmont VFW, and
Those
as far
guys
as
were great.
yeah, as far as like super local people, that was my first introduction to oh, I want to fucking murder someone at this show. Yeah, it was so crazy. Because, we had, the own bands that were around here, and just, seeing it was this is sick, I want to do this, and then that's kind of, sent me on the way of, figuring out how to actually play an instrument.
That's really cool to hear that Vanna was one of your biggest local influences, and it's also extremely cool to see In Spirit, their new band, is back now.
Yeah, it's like Vanna Part 2. It's fucking wild.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And to see them back together and just see how it's like they never missed a beat, that's how you know they're a group that's meant to be together and write music.
Right.
So, yeah, I 100% agree with you. Watching those local shows with them, especially when The Search Party Never Came was released, and then Curses and things like that, just those first couple albums were absolutely fucking phenomenal.
Oh yeah, they had a wild rise to the top for a minute there.
Crazy rise. I mean, them, and I don't know if you remember, but in the local scene, Motionless in White, who's now on like fucking WWE and stuff, they used to go to like a shitty Chinese restaurant with us after shows when they would come play.
Yeah, right.
In like the Saugus YMCA, and now they're all over Hot Topic, and they're this huge thing. So like, it's absolutely crazy to see. But who are some of your local influences, Christine and Jordan?
I mean, I feel like I almost like say it to death, but local influence in a way, and like band I appreciate and admire and love live and actually is known as Caspian. They're just like, everything about their live performance is incredible. There's only 2 bands that I've like ever seen live where I've just like felt like my heart might stop at any time, and it's them and Sun.
That sounds awesome. Caspian
Just
is
for, like-
absolutely phenomenal. I haven't listened to Sun. I'll
Yeah.
have to give him a shot.
It's
It's
very different, very different.
It's an experience.
It's like just one long drone. Is an easy way to put that.
I'd totally be into that.
I mean, they're good. They're great.
It's good working music, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would second the Caspian one. I think, I mean, as far as like local, I mean, Converge is
Mm-hmm.
up there for me in terms of bands that kill it and I mean, they do whatever, like they're like at the top of that genre, so anything they do is really inspiring. And now that we're on Jake's label is even crazier. That was like a kind of moment for me.
Yeah.
And then like, I mean, when we were playing shows and stuff, it wasn't really influenced, it was just like friends. Like Heavy Necker,
Oh hell yeah.
Potsy, who's actually from New Hampshire. They were like good friends of mine. I mean, Revere locals, Travel Amygdala at the time, back then when we were like 2014, 2015. It was just like, they were just all like, you go to a show and you just see all your friends, and that's what I miss. Just like the camaraderie between everybody. And then I met, when I was playing with Versa, met these kids out of Chelsea. They were called Free Radical at the time.
Oh
But
shit.
They changed their name to Pillbook. And yeah, Aaron was 15 years old when I met him, and I was just like, who is this kid? He was playing like a piece of shit Fender guitar, like a Squier or something. Like, I think it was like a Squier Stratocaster out of like this little fucking combo amp, and like ripping it. I'd never seen anybody have that impact when I was at local shows. And this 15-year-old kid, granted at the time I was probably like 22 or 21, but like, it blew my mind. So I kind of like tried to always help them or put them on shows and stuff. And now he's doing his own thing solo, still killing it. So shout out to Aaron from Pillbook, because that kid inspires me still.
Yeah, his latest release was early January, and it's great. It's like the new one's kind of like a bedroom pop sound, and it's incredible. And to like,
He did everything on it by himself. So
Yeah.
in his bedroom. So it's just like
It's literal bedroom.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
literal bedroom. Yeah.
So is
But
it
to-
Pillbook, or is he a solo artist?
It's
Still
well, now
Pillbook.
he is. It's still Pillbook, but he's the only person under that moniker now. Everyone, like, he just is doing his own thing. But also with that, I guess shout out 5x2 Records from Marlboro too, because he lives with them, and Circus Trees are like the house band, and Rob is the dad, who basically just books all ages shows throughout Massachusetts and just wants people to go to shows and support live music. So that's cool too.
That is pretty cool. So now, are there like local businesses that you guys try and help out in the area? You know what I mean? Like, just being a band that's in the area and being an artist that's struggling right now due to what's going on, are there people that you've tried to help out, like Etsy's and things like that, or trying to buy local from people or stuff like that? I just always ask because like that's been kind of like one of my main goals, is to spotlight small businesses and things like that, because everyone knows that they have like Barstool Sports, and Dave Portnoy put his money where his mouth is and helped a bunch of people. And I don't do politics and stuff like that, but like, you know, he did more than what it seems like most people are doing right now, and it's really nice to see. And those people are so appreciative. And that's kind of why I wanted to start the podcast too, is like bands that may or may not be well known, or bands that are well known, anybody that wants to come on and just chit chat, shoot the shit, and drink free beer, pretty much. I mean, you can't beat it. I mean, all we're gonna do is talk about you guys. I'm not important. I'm just here to listen to you and just pick your brain. I mean, I really like getting to know the people that make the music that I enjoy and that other people enjoy. And I also like just sharing beer from places that I'm friends with, or just places that I like to support or spotlight or things like that. So are there any local businesses that you'd like to shout out or anything like that, or any local people, or you could put them in the chat, you know what I mean, just to check out on Instagram or anything like that?
I mean, yes. As far as like, I mean, Andrew and I live in Salem. We play shows in Salem, or we're playing shows in Salem. We'll eventually play shows in Salem again. And like the two, like right across the street that we would visit a lot, play at, and like just go to even when there weren't shows, are Kodo and Opus. Thankfully they're both restaurants too, so they have something else to kind of help. Not that the restaurant business has been super easy through all this, but both of them, I want to see them both come out on the other side still able to do shows and be that like place. I mean, pretty much like all of the local businesses in Salem for me, like I made a kind of deal with myself this year for like, as far as Christmas went, I was like, the only things people are getting are going to come from shops in Salem. Like, I'm not going to do anything from anywhere else. I'm just going to go to all the little small shops. But I also think that even just not just like local to here, but local like venues and places that we've toured through or have been at in general, like trying to do that. Like there's Our Wicked Lady in Brooklyn was a big one. They've been struggling a lot. They have, is it a GoFundMe or a?
Yeah, there's a GoFundMe up for them, or I think you can just buy like t-shirts and shit directly through their website. Get some merch there and keep them alive, because we didn't even play there. We just went there to go drink, and it was so cool. It was like, man, I don't want to see them go. And a bunch of our, shouts to Super Blonde, obviously they introduced us there. I don't want them to lose their home bar either, even if they move away from Brooklyn.
Right. But yeah, like
They already all did.
All of them did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I thought Jason was still left.
Big exodus from New York. But yeah, like the local places where we want to go again that maybe aren't local to us. Like, I feel like it's great. You want to support the local businesses around you, but if you go to other places too, and you want those places to still be there when you go back, like
Exactly.
you got to think pockets of local that are local to other people and still small.
I totally understand that. So yeah, any bands that come on, I will definitely take that from now on and say, are there places that you've toured through? So thank you for that one. That actually helps me out, because I didn't even think of that. That's a really great idea. So who are some of your famous influences? It can be, I don't shame anyone here when it comes to music. The only thing I honestly cannot listen to is country music. And people get mad at me about that. But they're like, oh, you listen to Johnny Cash. And I'm like, no, Johnny Cash is folk. Johnny Cash is not country music. So like when people try to spin the genre card, I'm like, you don't get to change the genre now. That's not how this works. Just because someone sounds like him does not mean that's what he was playing. So yeah, the only thing I can't do, unless someone can prove me wrong and show me someone that's country that's absolutely unbelievable.
All right, we got some.
I got the guy for you.
Don't
Not
worry
Garth
about
Brooks. He buries people in backyards. I don't want that.
No, we know that. We know
Where are the
that.
bodies, Garth? Families need to know.
wanna
Where are
know.
the bodies?
Keep your eyes and ears out for Drew Taylor.
Drew Taylor.
Yeah,
Up
write
and
that
coming
down.
artist.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
So, all right, I'll give it a little bit of it away. We were on tour, in the van, driving, and just like joking around, coming up with lines for like what would be a country song, and it's actually coming together.
Now, while this was happening, Matt had his guitar.
Yeah, sitting in the backseat
He
of
was
the van.
strumming chords, just, and Andrew was up front in the passenger seat singing lines. We were just like writing lyrics down, like, oh, what was that line? All right, that's a good one. Write that down. All right, do this line, then this line, then this line, and we're at the hook. So
Yeah, we got to the hotel that night, kept going.
tried to record it.
Couple
My
voice
iRig
memos.
wouldn't work.
Did you
But now there's like, Matt's got a full track on, like,
Yeah, that's got a full mixed version of the instrumental.
The slide solo and everything, bro.
Yeah.
Come on.
Did you guys just like honey dick Jake so you could get on Death Wish and be like a surprise country band just to throw him way off? Be like, come up with this awesome music and then be like, actually.
Well, I mean, country's where the money is. If you can do
Right.
that
That's
fucking
true.
pop country shit.
We'll be playing Gillette Stadium 2023.
yeah.
I
But-
forget the original question.
Famous,
Famous
influences.
influences.
I mean, for me, I don't know if they're qualifying as famous yet. I think so, but
Yeah.
Circus Survive has been my big one for a very long time, and that's I won't let go of that. They can release as many bad albums as they want now. That's fine. Like the first three are such like a holy trinity of records for me that I can't think of a more perfect band.
I can agree with you. The first three albums are absolutely amazing, and it was something very unexpected when they came out because coming from Seocean to leaving that and doing Circus Survive and the Sound of Animals Fighting. The first Sound of Animals Fighting album was very good. The second one, where they pitched cinder blocks into fucking washing machines, I wasn't into that one. But it was just like a lot of moaning and
Got its
banging
moments.
noises. Yeah, it had a lot of moaning and banging noises, and I was like, I'm out on this shit. Like,
It really
Cinder,
does. That's
cinder blocks and fucking washer machines. That's awesome.
the sound we were hearing earlier, right?
That's right.
So, but yeah, I can definitely agree with the Circus Survive as an influence, even in my life, as someone that I love to listen to. What about you? You both over there?
It's a
Go
hard
on.
question for me because I have spent my whole life. I hyperfixate on everything, like every type of thing, and I'll have a favorite thing for this long, and then a new favorite thing for this long, and then I'll cycle back through them. But it's hard to, and it doesn't fit to what we're doing at all. But like, 90s alt rock is like my home. They all know because
Oh
when
my
I get in
God.
a mood in the
It's
van,
the worst.
I'll just cycle through
Fucking worst.
everything from like 1990 to
It's
1999.
every lyric of every song.
Oh, I know
is
them all.
Is just trapped in there. Like, I'm just like, I don't even know. I didn't even know I knew this song, and every lyric is being sung to me right now. It's insane.
It's I went to my first show when I was 5 or 6 years old, so I like
That's fucking
saw.
cool.
Yeah, my dad took me to shows probably shouldn't have. And like I think the first show I ever went to was probably at the old Lupo's location in Providence, Rhode Island.
Okay.
I used to go there all the time back when you could like smoke inside and there were like couches everywhere,
As
and
a
it would get
literal child.
as a literal child, and I would get like tired and like lay on the couch, fall asleep because I couldn't make it through a whole show, whatever. But like I used to see Letters to Cleo all the time. I saw Blink-182 like early. Our Lady Peace was like an Everclear. I was obsessed with them. I saw them like a handful of times each. So like I'm like stuck there as like a forever. I love it. And then everything else I kind of just like cycle through. Right now, and again, not really like an influence in the total sense, but like Julian Baker is like a hard yes for me all the time. I don't think she is capable of making bad music. She's never put out anything that I'm like, oh, I don't really want to. She's not like a skip track artist, you know?
Okay.
So,
Okay. I can appreciate
but
that.
yeah, but I'm not like a genre person. I'm like I guess I like this. This is good. I want to keep listening to it. And I don't really say like, oh, my favorite genre is metal or my favorite genre is alt rock, and I'm not good with like actual true favorites. So that was an over explanation. Just because I never know what to say other than I love 90s.
No, that was a great explanation because at least I get a better idea of what you do and don't like. I mean, you like a lot of things, is what you're saying, but like 90s really strikes a chord with you. It's kind of like me with Coheed and Cambria. That's been my favorite band since I was 13 years old. I remember going into Boston and like against my parents' will and going to the Axis and Avalon when they were a thing and just waiting outside in the pouring rain until the show started or, you know, prior to the show or after the show. And I actually remember talking to Claudio at 13 years old outside of the show, and he had a big kufi on and he was just leaning up against the building and kind of like he was at the time a very timid person. So, like, I don't think he really wanted anyone to talk to him. So, like, my initial reaction was like, holy shit, you're the guy from... And he was like,
Like, please don't.
Please, yeah, not now. But, and he, like, shook my hand. And I was like, all right, cool. You know, walked away. But, like, that's been my band since I was 13. I can put them on from album 1 all the way through or just one album and just... So that's kind of like my 90s thing. I can just go through a mood of being like... Unless I'm in a really shit mood, and then it's just usually like grindcore or black metal all day, like someone that just sounds miserable and angry. And then for you, Jordan, who's been your most famous influence?
Man, I too go through phases where I'm just like, this is the most important thing I've ever heard. And like, and it's so evident in like, especially when the music I'm writing, it just be like, yeah, I've been listening to a lot of Gojira, so this is like, they're the best band in the world. So, I mean, to me, I'll rattle some off. Gojira for sure, Radiohead as a unit, they've always done whatever they want, and it's all good. 9 Inch Nails, specifically Trent Reznor as a person and musician, is just like, to still be innovative and still probably top 3 live band I've ever seen, because every single time I've seen them, it's been different. And I appreciate that, because I want it to be like that when you see my band or anything I'm involved in. I always want to innovate, have new equipment or new lights or new sound or like a new band member or something. Deftones for sure. But then like my teenage years is like Slayer and like Metallica. Slipknot 1000%. That influence, really, like I was a metal drummer when I was a teenager, so it was like as fast double bass as I could and all that shit. But then like when I was younger too, it was like all rap and hip hop. So, and I still listen to that stuff, and I still like reminisce about like what it was like being 9 years old with a do-rag on and getting looks while I was like boarding a plane or something, you know, just like like G-Unit and stuff, and Dipset. So there's a lot there. But
I can't believe you're not going to say the Mars Volta right now.
Mars Volta, see, I forget. Mars Volta, yeah, like that's huge, man. I just bought a $500 box set.
No way, really?
Yeah, they just reissued. Because Omar had all the stuff in his vault and he got it away from Universal, so they're doing a all new masters for the vinyl, and it's all the albums and like a bunch of extra stuff that's never been heard before. So
Really?
Very exciting.
That's very exciting. Ah, Popper. Who is this?
This is Theodore. And he doesn't usually cry to sit with us, but
Hey, buddy.
he
Yeah.
is
Misses
today.
the friends.
Yeah.
Oh,
clearly.
no, he doesn't. He's not nice to anybody but us.
Really?
Yeah.
He's a jerk.
That's pretty funny. I have
Yeah.
two pit bulls that, if we were like parents, we'd be the shittiest parents in the world because they try to leave with our friends all the time. So like, all thing is like, good thing I'm not a parent yet, because like, if that was our kids, they just get and cut. Like, oh, no, fucking, they're nice people, but you don't go with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he has candy.
Yeah, exactly. Or if he keeps scratching me, I'm gonna keep following him. That type of thing. What are some of your favorite shows or venues you've played to date? Is there any one or two venues that really stick out to you all as a group? Is there one that you all agree on as the best? Is there one that was the absolute worst? I mean, when I toured with 13 Yards to Victory, at one point the drummer and I actually got asked to leave the venue because it was extremely religious, and they started praying, and it made me nervous, so I started laughing, and he thought I was being insulting, but I was just wicked nervous. So he asked us to leave because he thought we were making fun of them, but in reality, I'm an idiot and I got nervous. So it's like one of those things where like, that was the worst venue because he treated us like jerks for the rest of the time when I tried to apologize and explain. And I was like, there's no getting through to him, never mind.
Hey, the answer for best is, I feel like I can just speak for everyone when I say it's the Bug Jar in Rochester.
Yep.
Because that place is the shit.
Yeah.
And if you want to talk about supporting local businesses, support them because they're fucking awesome. And
Yes.
if they're
Bug
not
Jars.
here.
If we don't get to go back to the Bug Jar after this, I don't know what I'll do.
Very sad.
We riot.
But-
I was looking forward to playing Brighton Music Hall. That got canceled. That was gonna
Yeah,
be
that
cool,
would have been
probably.
cool.
That would have been incredible. That would have been really cool
Yeah.
to see you guys at the Brighton Music
We were gonna
Hall.
play with Bent Knee. And that was gonna be sick. But that got canceled.
If I feel like a standout show that was neither like, oh, best place ever, and definitely not like worst ever, but was the Drunk Horse Pub.
Oh, yeah, that was
God.
interesting.
Because that was in
That's
North
North Carolina.
Carolina.
It's
North
no.
Carolina.
Yeah. Fayetteville,
Yeah,
I think.
Fayetteville. And we were driving up because we usually, if we can, we get to a venue early, like at least drive by, just kind of check out the area before we figure out where we're gonna go until we can like load in. And we were there hours early, and we drove up to the parking lot, and there was a lot of cars in the parking lot, and you couldn't see in any of the windows, and we're like,
Couldn't see.
There were
was
no
no
windows.
There was no windows.
right, no windows.
So you
And we
start
all were like,
mumbling.
there's no windows on this building.
This
And
place, this place
we
might
were
be a
like-
strip club. Like,
Yeah.
That's the only place that wouldn't have windows, right?
The strip club.
It can't be though. It can't.
Right.
Be.
Why would they book a show here?
Right.
It's
So
ridiculous.
we like look at it and we're like, all right, well, we're early, so we went to go somewhere else. We're drinking for a while. We go back. We go in. Oh, it's a strip club. We got there. They were still. They hadn't. The daytime regulars hadn't left yet. They asked us when we went in. They were like, "Is it cool if she still gives a dance for someone?" We're like, "Yeah, do your thing."
And they're like, yeah, where's that gonna happen? Oh, where all of our gear is gonna be? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, go for it
let's
anyway,
go
I
ahead.
guess. Yeah.
Whatever. It's
One
your
of the-
place.
One of the dancers had an adorable little dog that was there that would go up on the little like they had like a podium with a pole that was like movable, and the dog would stand on the stand with her.
Um,
I have a
one of
picture
them
with
was-
that dog.
One of them was pregnant.
One of them was pregnant.
That was cool.
That was who was giving the dance. Was the pregnant one.
Oh, that's
Right.
so much fun.
So it was very cool. Good times.
But-
And we played to 3 people, and it was everyone who played that night.
It was
Because as it turns out, no one wants to go to a show.
at
At
a
a
strip
strip
club.
It's a bad business idea.
However, bartenders super nice.
Oh yeah, everyone there was great. This is not this is no disrespect to the Drunk Horse Pub. They were awesome to us.
Yeah, we got paid in advance, so it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
But that was definitely a standout. Like I'll never forget that entire experience.
There's one I can give a solid fuck you to, because it's never gonna matter again.
The grape room.
I
Oh,
was gonna
sorry.
say that.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I was
Oops.
gonna say Chad's music and event venue.
Oh,
in
yeah.
New Jersey.
Okay, so the New Jersey show that Andrew's talking about, the
Oh,
cops
boy.
got called on us during our first song. They kept pushing everything back. They were letting people. I mean, how many
Do
bands
whatever.
were playing? Like 10?
It was like no. It was supposed to be like 5, and the show started at was supposed to start at 9, and it started at like almost 10, and then everyone just
played
overplayed. It was
Yeah.
like you got 30 minutes, and they were up there for like 40. And the lady, I was staring at the lady like, "What are you doing?" And she was just like, "What? Like I don't know. Like they're playing. Like." And I was like, "Well, get them off. Like what are we doing? Like what is going on? Like get them off." It's just terrible. And like the first band, I'm not gonna lie. This is bad of me to say. I don't know the name. It doesn't matter. The worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Jordan and I were standing with our back to the stage
Like,
to not laugh
I was-
in the direction because it was just so. The whole thing was so weird, and everything they were saying between songs was weird.
That like their drummer like killed himself or some shit like that week, and it's just like, so why are you here?
Which is not why we were laughing.
Right,
They
no,
were
it's
just
not
Oh,
why.
yeah, of course.
But like, but it was just like, why are you playing the show then?
Yeah.
And then it was just him and his guitar screaming and yelling, and then
And rolling
this
on
girl
the
on
floor.
bass, and they were out of tune, and they just did it for like 45 minutes, and then he like broke his guitar at the end of it. Just like
And
what?
just exited.
Like,
just
what?
disappeared.
Yeah.
So anyway,
But then the cops got called on us.
yeah. So that we ended up going on at like after fucking midnight or some shit.
Yeah, we hit
And-
3 chords and they're like,
and-
"You're done."
And it's like we played 4 songs, and we played. Our songs are long, so the first song was probably like whatever. It was like I don't know.
5 minutes.
if 5 minutes into it, and then like we see like people in the back, cops come through, and then they're looking at us, and then like the cops come up to the stage like this, and then one of the person's just like you gotta stop, and we're laughing, and I'm just like, no, we're gonna keep going, we're playing. It's just like they're laughing about it up there. The lights go on, and then song ends, and I get up and I start packing my stuff up because I know what's up. And
They were like, "Oh, if you turn down a little bit, you can keep playing." And we're like,
Like,
"Oh,
Bad.
that's never. It's a thing of just like we're not turning down. Like we're not turning down a substantial amount.
right."
Right.
We lose it.
We might
But,
touch.
But then after that, everyone left, and then
Oh yeah, we were outside in the
we
van.
were outside
We're like,
trying to
"Hey."
be like, damn, we need a place to stay, and we asked the lady who booked the show, and she left. And that was what,
Right.
Montclair?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, fuck Montclair.
Yeah.
Never
So,
going back
but
there.
but some other band was put up by somebody, but nobody would put us up. And to cap off the evening, we
Yeah.
booked a room at a Howard Johnson,
Mojo.
Yeah.
Mojo.
and I got bit by bed bugs.
Yeah.
Jesus
That was-
Christ, worst
It was a really
show
sick
ever.
night.
That was a hard one.
That's true. That is a
Fucking
pretty good
cursed.
ad.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was a terrible night. It's I'll never forget it. It's,
Yeah.
but yeah, the grape room sucks too. It's
Yeah, I was in Philly. I had Scooter, whatever.
Yeah.
There's
Turbo House in Canada, Montreal, Canada is pretty dope.
oh,
Yeah.
that was awesome. Yeah.
That's a really
It's a
cool
great
venue.
show.
I never got to play in Canada, but I do know that there are a lot of really cool venues up in Canada.
It's never a bad time.
That was cool.
Yeah, the music scene's a lot better up there as well. I mean, I remember having our guitarist Mike at the time went to go watch the Red Sox play the Toronto Blue Jays up there, and he was saying that Alexis on Fire was on, and they were pretty much like the Britney Spears of music for their stadium. So it was very weird
Yeah.
for him to be like, "What the hell? Why are they playing? Why are they playing Watch Out during like the 7th inning stretch?" So like that was
That's
really
awesome.
cool to hear that, like, you know, in Canada there is different music genres that show up on their mainstream music, whereas over here it's sort of like mumble rap and Ed Sheeran. So it's like we got two things that you can listen to over here.
You mean
that's why
Prince
what was that?
Nothing. I just said you mean Prince Harry, but that was it.
Dude, Ed Sheeran got fucking torched when he was on Game of Thrones for like a 3-second cameo. I don't know if you guys remember that. I think people were just overly upset with that last fucking season, which I can totally
Yeah.
agree. But I
You
mean,
know what,
come
this
on,
plot
you torched a
sucks.
guy that
Fuck
wanted
Ed
to do a
Sheeran.
cameo?
Right.
Fuck Ed Sheeran. So, what are some of the biggest accomplishments in this band that you're most proud of? I mean, obviously Death Wish Inc., but like, how did that come to be? How were you found by the label? How did that all come to fruition? Because
That's a real fucking fluke that happened. I'll let.
It
I
was
don't think
it
it's a
was
fluke. I mean, like I said, the music's fucking
When you hear the
phenomenal.
story,
it's
it's,
a series of events that turned out very well for us.
yeah, I'm gonna let
That was
Jordan
unintentional
tell that one. Yeah.
because I'll let Jordan tell it, but just to preface, when we were thinking about like submitting to labels,
Mhm.
we like very specifically didn't include them
ruled them
because
out.
they don't do unsolicited submissions. We were like that we're probably not someone that they would go for. Like we hadn't even like had wanted to, but had like knocked them off our like realm of possibility.
Yeah, like we definitely like looked at their website, like, oh, that'd be cool. Never mind, they don't accept people. All right, we're out. We just won't shoot our shot there.
That's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
Right. Like in the way that like we wouldn't submit to like Matador or something. It's like
Okay.
it's just like that didn't read
It
as
seemed
like a
above our pay
viable.
grade, yeah.
But Jordan,
So I booked a show for me and Andrew's hardcore band at the time, Reckoner, in Revere, and I got this band called Suffer on Acid on the bill. Met them, super cool, great show. Met their drummer Caleb. He was who I was in contact with
Okay.
for show details and stuff. And then that was it. So he started following me, and I posted a picture of my drums when we were at God City when I recorded. And then I get an email from him, and he's like, "Yo, dude," and it's Caleb at Death Wish Inc. And I'm like, huh? Okay. And it's like, "Yo, dude, send, I saw your recording, send over whatever you guys have whenever you're done." And I'm like, hey, that's usually something like, "Hey, I work at Death Wish. Nice to meet," or something, like, didn't mention anything. So I'm like, all right. So I send it all to the band, and I'm like, "Hey guys, I'm real nervous right now." And we finish, send it over, and then they're like, "Yeah, you want to come into the office?" And you're just like, "What is going on, dude? What?" Yeah. So we went there and had a really good meeting with everybody, met everybody. And then they basically were just like, "So do you want to do this?" And I was just
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, dude.
That sounds unbelievable.
Yeah."
The middle
It really-
event
it really
in
was.
that story is
was,
that
yeah.
we played a show at O'Brien's with Birds and
Oh,
Row.
yeah.
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 And so Birds and Row, obviously a Death Wish band,
Yep.
and a lot of the Death Wish staff was there. And
I think it was just Caleb and Rich.
yeah, from what I recall, Rich to Caleb was like, "Who the fuck is this?" And Caleb was like, "They're recording."
Yeah.
That's perfect. That's really cool that it worked out that way. That's such a small
No.
world. You
No,
never
but like now that I think
Go
about
ahead.
it though, that wasn't, so they saw us before I even knew Caleb,
Right.
because that was
True.
July. Our August, the show for Reckoner was in August, so they had seen us.
And
then
Caleb still didn't say
They
anything.
still didn't
Yeah.
say anything, like, "Hey, I saw your other band," and just let all this stuff transpire for 4 or 5 months.
He knows how to play the long
And
game.
it's just like,
He's
Yeah.
slow. Yeah.
so yeah, I don't know. So they had seen us, I guess, but so that helped.
Yeah, well, because Birds
As
and
they
Row is on
knew-
the label, and
yeah,
they had been there
knew,
to see them.
they knew
they
what
were
we were about. You know what I'm saying?
Actually, just my favorite thing, I was thinking about it the other day because it's been a little bit over two years since we went in to like meet with them for the first time.
Mhm.
And I was just remembering how when we were going, I was like panicked, and I like put on nice shoes as if that was gonna give a better
That's gonna be
impression.
the selling point.
Like they were gonna see
at
that I could
Christine's
put on
shoes.
nice
Some
shoes.
nice ass
Dress
shoes.
for a job interview.
And I didn't tell any of them about like that thought process for like a few months after the fact, and then I finally was like, I put on nice shoes for you, like shoes I don't wear. As if it like was gonna matter, as if any of it mattered at all, like what I was wearing, what any of us were wearing. We did have a conversation though about how before we went there, we were like, no one wear any Death Wish band t-shirts.
Yeah, because everyone had a fuck ton of them. Like, all right, yeah,
Brilliant.
plain clothes.
But at the same time, Christine, I can totally understand the nice shoes thing because I think embedded in everyone's brain, no matter what, is like, I'm going for a job interview.
Yes.
And it's music, but it's still a job. But at the same time, you're like, how corporate's music?
Now that's honestly that's how it felt too, because I don't do well in situations, even in job interviews. I've had 2, and I've just been like, I didn't get that job at all. But like sitting there across from them, it was just so awkward. We were just like, so who's gonna like crack a smile first? Because I don't know what's going on right now.
And then fucking Jake came in. Like, no, don't have him.
Yeah,
come in.
he
I'm
just
not ready.
ran by and he was like, oh yeah, cool. Like, because we had pretty much, I would say, we're prepared in terms of like, we had the music, we had the art, like the picture that we wanted to use for the art, some type of layout, and then we had like the plans for touring that year pretty much all set. So that was nice. But they called Jake in for like artwork stuff, and he was like, hey guys, yeah, that looks pretty cool. All right, I gotta go back to work. And we're just like, that's Jake, man. What is going on right now? Like, we're in this man's building. This is crazy.
Yeah. Also, at the time when they asked us to come in, we honestly weren't sure. Like, were they gonna ask if we wanted to like sign, or were they gonna say like, can we distribute? Like, we just didn't even know how to think about it.
It's like,
Yeah,
I think our
they do
conversation
that a lot.
beforehand was like, what if they ask? And they're like, nah, that wouldn't happen.
Nah, it's
Like,
not
yeah,
gonna
you're right. Yeah, all right, let's just go over there.
And I remember when we left, like, we were just like, yeah, cool. Like, we agreed to this. And then we got in the car. Like, we walked down the stairs, no one said anything. Then we got in the car, no one said anything for like 2 minutes. And then I was just like, yo, what is going on? Like, punching the ceiling of the roof of the car and shit. It's like, wow.
Did you scream in the car? Did you immediately?
I
Was it
was
like
screaming.
quiet for
I
like
was
a couple
screaming. It
seconds,
was.
and then you
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
were
it was
like,
just
"What the fuck?"
Like pulled off onto the street, driving on some street, and I was just like, I cannot believe this. Like, this is like what just happened right now.
It's a very deep,
And even still, I still think
yeah.
about it. Like, I still can't believe that they want to deal with us. So that's awesome.
Thanks, guys.
They're all
Thanks,
yeah. Shout
great.
out to Death
Yeah,
Wish,
shout out to Death
honestly,
Wish.
because they make great decisions. They run a great label, and they're all of them are the nicest people
Mhm.
ever.
Great people.
Every single one of them.
It's still shocking every time we pitch something and they're like, yeah, that's cool. Like, oh, it is?
You said my idea was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That is cool that they're all really nice people, because just looking at Jake Bannon, he fucking terrifies me. He does. He's one of the few people that like I can look at and be like, no. It's kind of like Henry Rollins. You know that he's a nice person, but unless he smiles, you're like, he's gonna fucking bite my neck. That's what he's gonna do. So
He's
like,
got that
we-
energy.
we haven't
about him
really-
that carries him. Yeah.
Yeah, but we haven't really like sat down and talked to Jake ever.
Right.
He's always, whenever we go there, he's
Well,
working.
he's super
He's
busy
doing
because
stuff. Like,
he does his own stuff outside of Death Wish. Like, he does all his own like art stuff that he does, and all those like G-clay prints that he makes. Like, he's busy outside of the label stuff. So, and he's got a family. And his wife's got like a business
In one
She's,
of the
like,
biggest bands in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just mean in general, like I've like run into him a couple of times at the Death Wish office, but it's usually like, oh, he's over there, like busy, but very nice. So I understand your impression, but
the only time I've seen him outside of the performing band is when I was in a band called As Good As Dead. It was a metalcore band, and we used to go to this Cadoba in Peabody, like right near the North Shore Mall. And we were eating there one day, and all of us watched him walk in to get food. And we all just kind of like immediately were like, oh, that's Jake Bannon. That's definitely Jake Bannon. And then our screamer at the time, Joe LaMonica, just started yelling out loud, yeah, there's no way that he'd be here at Cadoba. I mean, it's not like it's Jake Bannon. To see if he would turn around at like the register. And I'm like, this fucking kid. Like, of all things to do, you're gonna...
do I know Joe LaMonica? I think I know a Joe
You probably
LaMonica.
do know Joe LaMonica. Everyone knows Joe LaMonica. He's a good kid.
I know Joe LaMonica.
Does he have a
yeah.
brother?
He's,
Are there
yes,
two
he
of
has
them?
Steven LaMonica. Dude, there's a whole fucking troop of them. There's like 4 or 5 boys. The LaMonica crew.
I think
But-
I definitely know. I think I know Joe and one of the other ones. Rival Island? Is that it? One of
Yes, he was in
Okay.
Rival Island for a while.
All right, yeah. So
Say
I
what-
played with them in Versa. That's where I met both of them.
I'm
Two of them.
trying
I
to
don't
think
remember the other
back.
one.
Going back to is that the same band with Lance? Was Lance in that band too?
Lance was in As Good as Dead. Yep, he was the
Yeah,
drummer.
okay. That's right.
But sorry to derail
Throw
your
me way
conversation,
back.
your story.
No worries, no worries. But yeah, that's the only not even interaction, like just seeing him out and about and just being like, oh, that guy fucking terrifies me. So there.
That's how I felt. That's how I felt about Kurt. I recorded at his studio, not thinking that he was going to show up because I worked with his assistant Zach, and then he comes in. And I'm like, oh fuck, that's Kurt Ballou. What am I doing? He starts talking to me about drums, and I'm like, why are you asking me about drums right now? Like, I'm not prepared for this. Like,
Yeah, they're cool.
yeah, like I like drums. I play them. I don't know. It was just.
It's
That's
really
cool.
nice to hear that you guys had such a great experience with the contract experience, because a lot of artists these days don't really get their fair share. They don't get to be heard. So it's really nice to hear that Jake and the team at Deathwish are just, they like to hear you out. They like what you're doing. They like your ideas. My experience with sitting down with someone for a contract was one of the main reasons that I had left the band 13 Yards to Victory. I looked at the contract and I was like, there's a lot of numbers here, and none of those numbers go to any of us. So I think, we lost Jordan.
No, hold on. Sorry.
No worries.
I'm still here. Just turning the camera off for a second.
No problem. So yeah, that was one of the things I was like, it was a bummer to see that one experience that I had was just numbers, and it was not about what we wanted to do. It was what would make the most amount of money. So at that point,
Right.
It was no longer being an artist, it was being a product. And I was like, I really don't want to do that. So that's why I had stepped down from that and then joined Ashland after Pat had left the three-piece when they were a three-piece. And I did vocals for them for a while, and then just kind of putted around, and I still putt around. I mean, I still love playing and doing music. I'm 33 and have zero time
Damn,
to
y'all
do
asking for real. My bad.
anything. There he is.
That's fair.
Sorry, dude. I hit the
No worries.
button on my fucking headphone. Left the call.
I hear you though on the feeling like, oh, you're getting old. Like, me, Andrew, and Matt have all broken over into the 30s, and when that was like coming, like, not in like a, oh no, that like our 30s are coming, but just like, man, if something doesn't happen like now, or like we're gonna be 38, being like I guess
I mean,
maybe
we would have
someday.
still been trying. That's,
Right.
This
You're
wasn't
like that-
I'll
like-
go back to the drunk horse. I don't even care.
Yeah.
She could be on her 7th pregnancy. I don't give a fuck.
That's it.
You know what I
That's what it
mean?
is.
So,
Like, hey, they're all running around. What's up, children?
I think
Yeah.
we're just the bouncer now.
Would have been more people than we played to then that night. So whatever.
All right. So I finished the MI6. If
There
I
we
remember
go.
the name.
So what'd you
What?
think?
It's good. It's very good. It's got I feel like there aren't a lot of like hop forward IPAs left. Everything's super juicy,
Mm-hmm.
and to drink this and actually taste hops is nice. So
Yeah, I know everyone wants juice bombs and they want it to be real hazy. Like, just brewing beer. Yeah, see, Jordan, you know too. Just brewing beer. Anytime I had to brew something that was a double IPA, I did it because like my boss is awesome, things like that. But like, I haven't liked a double IPA in probably 7 fucking years. I mean, I started home brewing 7 years ago, and that's one of the first things that I started out doing was double IPAs because they were really easy. And then when you make them for mass production, day in and day out, and then you have to hear like, it's not juicy enough, it's not dank enough, it's not hazy enough, you literally just think about all those people that are like, I like that band before they were popular. And you're like, oh, fuck you. Fuck you. Like, that is one of my biggest pet peeves. Like, oh, I liked them before they added the synth keyboard stuff. No, fuck you. You either like them or you don't like them. Don't sit here and tell me the otherwise. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So what were you drinking, Christine?
So
grab another one.
sorry because I had to abandon
No,
that
that's okay.
that hummingbird one. It when I tried to salvage it, it felt like there was about this much left in it, and it was just all like foam,
Sediment.
earthy sediment. Yeah. But I did the pulp up the jam.
Oh, with the
Which
graham
is-
crackers and everything?
Yeah, the graham cracker is what intrigued me the most. I was like, what? What is this gonna taste like? And I'm a huge fan of sours.
Awesome,
Like,
awesome. So
and
that
this
was
is
the
actually
program that I did.
this is very very good. I'm picky about my sours because I feel like a lot of sours aren't actually sour,
Mhm.
and I'm not into it. Like they're fine, but don't say it's a sour unless it's gonna be sour.
So
And this
the
was
other one that's mango is way more sour than that one. Yeah, that one's way more sour than that one. Two different
very
yeast
excited.
strains. So we started using a different one for the mango one going forward. But that one there was one of those ideas where I was like, oh, I want to put all this stuff in it. And then I thought about it after I had already brewed it. And I was like, what a dumb fucking idea trying to get marshmallows and graham crackers out of the boil kettle and cleaning this all up. And I was like, oh, at least it'll hopefully sell well. You know what I
So
mean?
wait, do you only homebrew? Or do you work for a brewery too?
I worked for Kettlehead for about a year. I actually just left there 2 weeks ago to start a new job. I work in the medical field as well. So I went back to doing that solely because I want to buy a house soon, and I also want to open my own brewery. And I felt like the best idea was to get a lot of experience to see if I actually really like doing it on the bigger scale. And I think that brew pub is as far as I will go. I will not go into mass production because, like I said, I can't make the same thing over and over again. It drives me batshit crazy. I'm like Christine, how you said you get obsessed with something, and then you'll get obsessed with something else, but then eventually you'll circle back. Well, I in 7 years have not circled back to double IPAs, so no fucking way am I going in that direction. I want to keep making weird, crazy stuff. Crumb to Mama saying the mango beer is their current favorite beer, so that one there I think you'll really like.
Well, it's
Also,
on
yeah,
deck.
shout out Wheeler Walker Jr.
So,
Yes.
oh yeah,
Hell yeah.
the Pussy King. Whatever
Fuck.
happened to him? He was around for a while and now he kind of like disappeared.
I don't know, I mean, I'm sure it's just
He
he's
can't
like
work,
he's a
he
real
can't fuck.
touring artist though. Like
Oh yeah,
he does and plays and like he's not like the. I mean, he always says it obviously that he's like a real country artist, but I'm sure he's cooking up something disrespectful.
Yeah, I want him on that episode of him on your mom's house is fucking unreal.
Oh dude, he is too funny. And the amount people take him serious because he's just got that monotone voice and everything. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, this isn't really a character. It's kind of like who he believes he is.
Can you open this just in case? Because I don't want it to.
You don't want to relive your.
I don't want to relive the explosion. I just want to make sure.
But now I feel pressure opening this.
Mostly, I just don't want to get it all over our electronic equipment.
Our keyboard lights up.
Oh, nice. Is it a tactile keyboard where you hear all the clicks?
Fuck yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Oh,
This is
well, hello,
amazing.
mommies, we see in chat, so.
Oh, fuck
Right.
yeah.
Jeans high and tight.
So you do like that one.
This is incredible.
So that one was a lot of fun to make. That was a lot more sour. Like I said, we used a different yeast strain on that one, so it was a lot more fun to make too. But the weird part is that beer there, we used a new yeast strain, and then we were like, oh, did you read the directions? So we looked at the directions after a couple days of fermentation, and we were like, oh fuck! It says you might have to brew a second like bland beer and blend the two together. That defeats the purpose of using this yeast strain to make it, and then like now we have to make fucking two beers. So we lucked out that we stopped it at the right time and then fruited it all up, and it came out that way. We were really excited with the way that came out. We actually had to use like giant oil drums filled with fucking mango to pour into the tank.
Shit.
Wow.
Yeah, so we had like this giant pallet with huge like oil barrels, it looked like, and we had to get them up and pump them into the tank. Kings and
This
queens
is
above
the best.
18.
Oh god.
So they're definitely.
I hope
I
you have
love
a good
it.
day.
Right
It's
now.
time to go to work. It's like-
I listen to that on the daily now at my new job because I drive a lot, so I just listen to podcasts going to and from places. So people probably think I'm a fucking psycho because I'm in like semi-business attire and laughing, with, like sunglasses on, like.
One of our like a high moment for us on tour, we were playing a house show in Ohio. I think it was in Akron, and I went to the store to get some water, and all they had was Smart Water, and I was fucking pissed. And I think Jordan took a photo and tweeted something like, it's like, this fucking water sucks, but whatever, hashtag water champ. And Tom Segura liked it and was like, this is the best. This is like such a high moment for me.
That is pretty awesome. They're asking you how to show me how those tits fart, so that's another good one
Big
going on
tits
right
fart.
there.
Yeah.
So I miss the
Yeah,
fact
like
that
dead
Fed
animals.
Smoker is gone. I am so disappointed that Fed Smoker is gone.
I don't think he's gone.
You don't think he's gone? Well, someone just videoed a vehicle the other day that looked identical to his. I don't know if you guys seen that newest episode.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was like, oh, maybe Connell is still alive. Lucky bastard.
I mean, he's still giving content on his 19 YouTube channels, so
Yeah, I know that.
he's
is
not
terrifying.
really gone.
No, faked it.
Faked it.
So I did notice that you do stream from time to time. Besides Animal Crossing, I do know that that is one thing that you play.
No.
What are some? No, it wasn't
Uh-oh.
Animal Crossing.
Stardew Valley.
Shit. See?
Very similar but different.
Okay, so what is the difference between the two?
So I mean, main difference, two main differences. One, Stardew Valley is not in real time the way Animal Crossing is. I don't really know much about Animal Crossing, so it's a little hard for me to answer. But it's not in real time, where like Animal Crossing, if you don't play, things are still happening. But two, everything I understand about Animal Crossing is like this big like, oh, you like make stuff and sell stuff, and it's all about making money, and like very like capitalist is what I read from it. Stardew Valley is literally like start a farm, become friends with the village people. Village people.
Oh,
Do
that
the
sounds like fun.
YMCA.
Yeah, that
these
doesn't.
have-
That sounds like enjoyable, like community based.
Yeah.
14% Milk is saying Woo Stardew Valley is greater than Animal Crossing. So
Yes.
Crumb at one point played Animal Crossing. I know that, and then our friend Katie Dinosaur played Stardew. So yeah, I had always seen Stardew, but I had never known
It's
exactly
so-
what it is.
So nice.
Is it
and
like
it's
a
like you-
relaxing game?
For some people, I think I get really stressed out, but I like feeling like that. I think when I play it, because I clearly keep playing it. But I get stressed out because I would just want to do everything, and I have a hard time being like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow in the game. I'm just like, I want to do all the things now, and I'm like, I'm always running to bed, at 1:50, and like if you aren't in your house at 2 a.m., you pass out wherever you are, and you like lose stuff. But I'm like always like running, like, oh no, I wasn't paying attention to the time enough. So it can be relaxing. I think for most people it's relaxing. But I think it's super fun. Andrew doesn't get it. I tried to get him to play it with me a couple of times. Doesn't. It's fine. But it is a lot of fun, and I do recommend checking it out. And it's not very expensive, so if you don't end up liking it, it's not like you poured $60 into a game, you
Right.
know?
Right.
But I've also been playing a lot of Phasmophobia lately.
I just bought that.
Okay, so it's a lot of fun. It's still like early stages. They just did another update, and actually I was playing last night, and I was like all fucked up about the update that they'd put through because they changed some things, and I was like not expecting something that I thought would work to stop working, like in terms of like a way you can like hide from the ghosts. You used to be able to, if you went into a room and held the door shut, it couldn't get you. Nope, they can open doors now.
Oh fuck.
Which makes the game higher stakes and more exciting. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun playing that one. And I have like one friend that I stream a lot with, both games actually. So it's always a good time. And then we usually like have other people who will come in sometimes with Faz specifically playing. I've bought a couple other games recently. I have a hard time being like, oh, I'll play something else, because right now I'm like so in it, especially with Phasmophobia. I'm like, gotta play. I almost feel bad though, because sometimes I play kind of late, and then like,
Yo, she screamed so loud last night that the dogs shot out of bed while I'm trying to, like, I gotta go to work at 8 in the morning, and she's just out here going, oh my god.
I startle really easy, so it's like a fun game for me to play, but also like there are effects for other people.
Do you wear like an Apple Watch or anything? Because one of the funniest things in the world is the heart rate increase that people get on like heart rate monitors, like the Apple Watch. So I have a lot of friends that will play like I don't know if you've seen GTFO.
Yeah.
It's
serious shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So I played with a couple friends, and like when it was released in the alpha, your proximity chat to talk to each other was extremely sensitive. So if you were near the monsters that you're trying to sneak around and use your hammer to kill, like you have to hit them in the head instead of using your gun to make sounds, um, you literally could sneak up and then all of a sudden you're like and they fucking turn around and you're like no 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 no, and then it triggers all of them to start chasing you. So like everyone starts screaming. So I understand the whole phasmophobia thing of being at like 2 in the morning and then you start like wake up people in the house and the dogs. So
Yes. Actually, I didn't even think about it. I say all the time that like I can feel my like heart rate just go through the roof in a second when I'm playing the game, which is it's so like interesting to me that something like that like you're like I'm playing a game on my computer, but you still like end up having those like crazy like physiological reactions to. And I actually have a set of headphones like in ear like earbuds that have a heart rate monitor, and I kind of want to wear them underneath my headphones when I
you should
play again
totally
and
do
see.
that and post what happens, because that'd be amazing. Because with me, I play Dead by Daylight a ton, so like you can hear me screaming from the couch when the killer's chasing me. I'm like, no, no. So I can totally understand the heart rate increase. I like games that are jumpy. I also like games that are really chill. Like I play a lot of Rust. I play like now it's huge on Twitch again, apparently, but I've been playing for such a long time, and I stopped playing recently because they added all these updates that kind of nerfed it and made it literally not the game that it was designed to be. Now there's like fucking trains you can take, and drones can drop off your supplies. Like it kind of defeats the purpose of a post-apocalyptic sandbox game. But
That's it.
what about you guys? What do you guys like playing, seeing as you're not into Stardew Valley and screaming, and I haven't heard anything of Jordan's ilk for video games, so...
Go ahead, Andrew.
No, I was just gonna comment on how you don't play Warzone with me anymore.
I didn't know we were playing Warzone. I mean,
Are you not? I felt like you were.
I don't know. I stopped playing for a little bit. I'm on there sometimes, but I was crushing Warzone for a while. That took up a lot of my 2020.
Was that the free-to-play PlayStation game at one point?
It is free to play.
Yeah,
Call of Duty is just the extension of a lot right now. But like it's like their first battle royale game.
Okay.
They jumped into that. I mean, it's usually that Call of Duty or like some sports games like NHL or FIFA or NBA 2K sometimes. Yeah, it's either Call of Duty.
That's it. Destiny's my main game. I don't stream it as much just because I get too wrapped up in what I'm doing to like actively talk about it. And I'm not a big PvP player, so that's what people want to watch anyway. So I have no interest in really playing that side of the game. So I've just been grinding out FIFA and becoming the MLS superstar that I deserve to be.
FIFA is a pretty popular game. I mean, I have a bunch of friends that play that and play NHL. I've never gotten into sports games. I've always been like an MMORPG, RPG, or I guess now survival sandbox person. Also, huge advocate for Minecraft if you want to just be really fucking lazy and dream about building a house that you'll never own ever in your life.
Yeah, see, really. I suck at that though too because my son is awesome at Minecraft, and I'll go play with him, and he's like building houses and shit. I'm like, yo, how do I put down this? How do I put down a block? And he's like, it's the left trigger, Dad. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm just gonna jump off into the water now and swim around. I don't know what I'm doing.
That's it. JRPGs are really what I fell in love with. Like, I'll play any Final Fantasy game that comes out. All the Tales games are dope. But I feel like that's not super interesting content for me to like watch this game and be like, this cinematic is so cool. Right. I love anime. Shit. Yeah.
14% Milk was just saying, ugh, we're all getting old and outdated.
You are not wrong.
Guess who's playing the Final Fantasy VII remake? It's
I'm
me.
I'm the youngest man alive. I don't know.
It is nice to see that like a lot of the games that we grew up liking are getting remade so that it doesn't look like a really fucked up pixel box anymore.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, we got Jonah's Crash Bandicoot. They remastered all of the games in one disc, so he has all of them now. And he was like, Dad, look at the way this one looks. I was like, yeah, I know, I played this one. Like this was my. He was like, oh, like look at like this thing, and like this looks so bad. I'm like, don't talk about it like
This is
that.
the
Like
HD version.
this is what we had.
Yeah,
He's like,
exactly.
yeah, but like it's so much better now. Like, yeah, I know that.
It's so funny going back and looking like an original Halo, and you
Oh
look at
my
it and you're like,
God.
this was the
It's
craziest
terrible.
thing ever.
This
and
was
you
like,
look at it now,
it's like this blew my mind when I was 11 or 12.
I remember playing the first NBA 2K, and I was like, this looks like I'm watching a real basketball game. And then you go back and look at it now, you're like, oh my God, I was stupid.
They're all cardboard.
Yeah.
It's all relative.
Yeah. What about graphics wise when NBA Jam came out and you could fucking catch the ball on fire and like slam dunk it? Like, these graphics are crazy. And then you get older and you're like, it's a fucking like 2D platformer.
I mean, now
It's
you look at it
genuinely
now,
not that exciting.
LeBron James is literally sweating on you through the screen.
Yeah,
Right.
This
exactly.
is amazing.
That's pretty amazing. Well, so did you get the little package that was in there?
We did.
Did you open it?
Yep.
Do you hate hot stuff? Because you don't have to do it if you don't want to.
So here's the thing. He loves it. I'm terrible with it. I will do it because it might be funny.
Okay. So, I do have...
But it makes me intensely nervous.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So you
All
can
right,
go ahead
open
and
it.
open it. And I opened mine and it's got a little dial thing on it. So
Yeah,
I
you can
figured we
spin
could
it.
just do random conversation and in between we'll spin it. Whatever it lands on, we'll give it a try. But I figured random conversation because like we had this little structured thing going on and just kind of wanted to pick your brains on random things, like what kind of equipment you guys like using, what kind of things excite you inside the studio. Like Jordan, are there things that are in a studio that you really enjoy that you don't get to use because maybe you don't want to buy it for your drum kit because you're like, oh, it's a fucking commodity. But when you're inside it, oh, okay, see, this is the stuff that I like.
Nope.
I want to hear what you guys want to talk about when it comes to like gear, or what's your favorite style of guitar, or who's your favorite producer of guitar. I mean, I like, so this is what I wanted to wrap up the show with, the last, however 20 or so minutes. I mean, you
Oh,
can
no.
go over, it doesn't matter.
Come on. Nice.
Yo.
Just make sure the dog doesn't eat him. I don't want his poor little beehole to sting. That would be terrible.
Yeah. Yeah,
The
you'd
thing
be
is, he
fucked.
will. He's fine. He's the one who would eat them is in my lap. We're good.
Oh, okay, perfect.
I'll take them if you want to pick those up.
Yep.
So I figure what we'll do is we'll do like a round robin. We'll go through and just what are some things that excite you guys in a studio that you like using, and then from that we'll go to musical equipment, and then we'll go from there. So we'll spin it whenever you guys feel like it.
And I'll just pretend. Ooh,
Yeah.
it's so hot.
Yeah, you're gonna be in charge of what we're talking about, so you guide this shit. Because I'm gonna be playing hot ones over here.
Yeah, there you go. So Jordan can kind of lead the conversation here on studio equipment, what you like to do in the studio, what are some things that are sort of your ritual when you record and things like that.
So first one is I play and record with nothing else besides a click track. I tempo map everything before we go there for all the songs that we're doing, and I just have it all in my head in terms of arrangement and what everything sounds like, but I can't listen to something else while I'm recording because it like takes away from my focus.
Okay.
And that's
Which is insane to me. Like, I don't know how you.
Yeah, you're kind of blowing my fucking mind right now, because if
Yeah,
I didn't have
I
a
don't-
scratch track in my head, I'd probably feel
Yeah,
like I was
I
just
don't-
fucking crazy and playing like that episode of South Park where they're playing Guitar Hero and they're not plugged in.
Right.
That's what it would feel like to me. Like I don't hear anything what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't met anybody that has done it like that either, but no scratch track, nothing at all. So that's a weird one. Once I record drums, it's over from there for me pretty much. Besides like listening and arranging and telling Andrew to play something better than he's doing it. But
Damn, man.
Ouch.
You do always have
Jesus
to
Christ.
Yeah, I do
You
have
have
to
to.
retune a lot. Yeah, that's a. I mean, I get excited when the studio has like amps that I would not buy on my own. This is a weird time to have this conversation because I just bought an amp for the first time in like 8 years,
What'd you
7
get?
years,
What'd you get?
something like that. I bought a Science
Okay.
finally. Long time I have been pounding like all of the band members like, I'm gonna do this someday. Just get ready, I'm gonna do it. And then that unemployment money hit, and I was like, we're doing it.
That's
So I finally
awesome.
did that. But until like just recently, like 3-4 months ago, I've been playing a 50-year-old Ampeg amp. And I was like, I'm never gonna buy another one, and then I did it.
And then what are you playing, Christine?
She's playing that 50-year-old amp now.
Here's the
That's
thing,
fine.
is that right before all of this happened, kind of, I guess in the 6 months leading up to like everything shutting down, I had really bad luck. So I had a Weber that did that blow out of show?
Yes.
Yeah,
it did.
mid set at a show in Vermont.
Yeah.
And we
You-
were going on tour.
Yeah, we purchased an amp.
Yeah, because we didn't have time. I think we had like 2 or 3 days max, and there was no time to get it fixed. That one broke. My brother owned the same one. Should have just asked him to borrow his, but didn't. So I was playing. I went through several, and now we're just like, let's just do this. Let's give my brother his amp back so I don't break it. Not that I was breaking them, but I just feel like I had bad luck. So now now that Andrew's replaced his, taken that one. Were we talking about what we're playing? Is that what we're doing?
Well, just things that you like that maybe in a music studio. So we were talking about him buying a new amp. We just kind of just ventured off a little bit onto that, and then asked what you were playing, and then he said the 50-year-old Ampeg, which you had a Weber that blew. So it was just like, when you recorded in studio, what was something that did you record with your own bass, or were you like, oh, they have a Rickenbacker here, or they have this Fender P bass that I've always wanted to play, or that I really like when people are like, ooh, they had a PRS guitar, and I have never gotten to play one, so I've always wanted to. So I did all of our leads with that guitar, so.
I've always used mine. I think part of that though comes from like my it's like a comfort thing, like being comfortable playing on. I have a hard time switching up things with no notice.
We're also like, we're a weird gear band.
Yeah.
So like, it sounds shitty, but like we show up with a lot of shit when we go to the studio. And it's just like, maybe, like, hopefully there's something better there. But like my stupid guitar, like there will not be a guitar like that at the studio, and I can guarantee
Right,
that.
well, you've crafted yours.
Right, like I Frankenstein that damn thing together, and there's not going to be a guitar that thrills me the way that one does at the studio. Like it's just not going to happen, unless there's some. No, go
What?
ahead.
I was gonna say with that, I think Matt is the only one who is more, not even more open, but he's just able to, like, if there's a head, like there was an orange head, he doesn't play an orange, but when the first tracks we were recording when I was in the band, there was an orange head there, and he was like, I'm gonna do all the leads with this one, and it sounded great, but he's able to just kind of like he'll have his pedals, but like in terms of amps or cabinets or whatever, he'll just play whatever, because his sound in the band is way more broad in terms of what he does and how he plays. So he's able to kind of like, oh, that's a sick head, I'm gonna play that one out of this cab for all the leads, and then I'll do this one with this head for the rhythm, and then
I feel like I've dialed in everything so specifically.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this is my sound, and this is how I'm gonna play it. And
Yeah.
I've got enough pedals to change it as things are going, but it's like, it's so down to like, this is what it sounds like when I play guitar.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
You're like a not fucking lame version of the Edge from U2. That's how we can put it. Like you're not fucking lame. You have a cool pedal board sound.
Arguable.
The Edge got some cool parts, man. Come
He
on.
does.
He plays an Explorer, bro.
Not totally like an answer to your question, but you did make me think of something. The one time I've gotten to play a Rickenbacker should have been really cool, but instead I was super nervous that I was gonna do something wrong. We were playing a show and I broke my E string, and one of our like friends that we've like played shows with before was like, I was like, does anybody have a bass, like, so we can finish this set, because I can't play without the E string for any of the stuff that we're doing. And he was like, you can use my Rick. And I was like, are you sure? Like, do you want me to play this? And I spent the rest of the set being like, this is really cool. I hope I don't fuck it up. Like, I don't want to break it. And it was cool.
Put a ding in it. I don't want the
He's
strap to
also-
fall off.
Yes, and he's shorter than I am, and he plays high, even higher than I do. And I was afraid to even fuck with that. And so I was just like, how do I? This is so cool, but like I don't know this is. So you mentioned playing a Rickenbacker, and I was like, oh wait, that happened once,
We
and
had
it was
a fake
terrifying.
Rick for a while. We had an AliExpress
Yep.
for like 4003 for a minute, but we had to give it back because the neck was warped.
Yeah, I went.
Surprise.
The dude who used to set up one of like my bass like a bunch of years ago, and I brought that one to him and was like, can you fix this? And he was like, please go get your money back from whoever you bought this from. The neck is so warped, there's nothing I can do. And I was like, no, because it was cool and it looked cool on it.
Yeah, if you're a Fooly Cooly fan, it was the right bass.
That is pretty cool. We can give the dial a spin.
And
All right, it's for you, Christine.
oh boy, it's me.
Or should we do the same one?
No, you take that one.
That's jalapeno. That's
Oh, I
easy.
guess we can both do it.
That's easy. This is light work.
Sriracha. Sounds like fun.
Cheers.
Oh.
Oh no, it's not easy.
That's a shitty jelly bean flavor. I'll say that much.
I will admit, it really does taste like sriracha.
It tastes like a jalapeno. It tastes like a jalapeno seed.
That's hilarious.
You should probably wash that down a little more beer. Cheers.
That hurts you? That's hilarious.
Oh, I guess I'll say too, tagging on what Andrew said about his sound. I have a very expensive drum kit.
What do you
And
play?
there's
Yeah,
not a-
I'm very curious.
I play a Q Drum Co. brass kit, all brass.
Really?
Yep, and it was a lot of money, and there's no better. I've never played a better drum where I could play in a basement and be articulate. I mean, I hit hard as shit, so that's part of it too. But it's loud, but it's warm, and I could play in the basement unmiked. I could play in the living room. I could play in a venue unmiked. I could play a venue mic'd, and it always sounds good. So there's never going to be another drum kit that I will probably ever play, unless it's another Q kit in a studio somewhere.
I hate it when you play a house kit. I get so mad. Like, it sounds like shit.
Yeah, it sounds terrible. And I like every place we go, they're like, "Oh, you want a backline?" Like, no. Like, "Oh, you're gonna backline yours?" No, I don't care. Like, no, I'm not here for that.
So now, what are some things that, like you just mentioned, you like having your kit when you're live? Have there ever been instances where you've had to do shows where like you had to share equipment with a bunch of people? Like, oh yeah, okay, I want to hear about this.
Of course. I mean,
good and bad. I want to hear the good and bad. Like, you don't have to name the bands, obviously, where you had bad experiences, but has there been like outlandish shit where you're like, this is my equipment, and you straight up just fucking disrespected it so bad and didn't even give it a second thought? Like, what is this?
I can't.
Jordan doesn't let other people play his kit.
Yeah, I don't let anybody play my drum kit. I can't
Okay.
think of. There had to be a moment. And I don't think it was in this. I think it was when I was with Versa. But like, it had to be a moment. I was just like, you know what? No, and that kind of changed my perspective. It like depends on what drum kit I had, because for a while I'd gig with one kit specifically that I was like, well, if I let people play this, it's fine. And I was doing that for a little bit, but like this one specific, this Q drum kit, like No one is playing it besides me. I let one person play it, and it was Jason from Super Blonde because I trust him. He hits hard, but like, it's fine. You know, like,
Care. Yeah.
yeah, like
With
it's like
care.
it's not like some of these people are just like disrespectful, and I I don't remember what the moment was, but I mean, we usually like if I'm booking shows, I'll get bands together and I'll be like, listen, we'll let you use our cabs. You bring everything else,
Everything else.
Okay.
Yeah.
because that's usually like, well, you can't like you're not going to be tweaking settings on everyone's heads because that's disrespectful.
Yes.
You know, just like you bring, you know, a cab is just speakers and that's fine. We have an 810. Don't bring anything. Bring your head.
Yeah.
We'll keep the changeover times quick, and then like it'll be like, you know, if there's going to be a drum kit that's backlined, I'll say that. You're not using mine. If you guys want to share one, that's cool too.
Mhm.
3 bands can use that. I'm using mine. You're not using mine. That's kind of how it is.
That's it. On the same side of that coin is that I built my cab, and my cab will always be the backline cab if there has to be one, because I'm not playing a different cab. Like, that's the one that's going to be on stage if I'm playing. So, and I have no problem with anyone else using that. It's like, just
Loud
leave it up
as
there.
shit.
Yeah, it is loud as shit. It pushes air like a motherfucker. And to play without, like, any time I play through something else, I'm like, this is lame. Like, I like mine. It's just, it's aggressive and it fills the room really well. With my amateur carpentry, it seemed to just luck out on that one.
That is pretty cool that you did it yourself.
It's like I knew what I wanted. No one else was doing it, and I wasn't paying Emperor several $1,000s to do something I could do in a basement. Like,
Understandable. Now, I'm gonna give random questions if that's cool with you. We'll spin the dial again. I know that Christine's not excited about another jalapeno
let's
seed, hopefully.
fucking go.
I thought that was going to be the easiest one, and now I'm intimidated.
So I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. If it lands on the Carolina Reaper, don't eat it, please.
Don't do
'Cause
it.
That's fucking
Insane.
yeah.
All right.
Helen Keller will scream her hands off with that one jelly bean, so you don't want to do that. So my next question's just totally random. Favorite movies? Can be any genre. You can give me one. You can give me several. I'm gonna head and spin the dial.
You got Cayenne.
How do you know which one that one is?
It's Rush Hour 1 through 3.
We're gonna say it was Cayenne because I landed on Sriracha again. So
I don't know
Oh,
which one
fuck.
it is.
yeah, I don't know which one it is either because the Cayenne
Okay,
and Carolina
it's-
Reaper look very similar.
Yeah, I don't want
It's
to fuck
red
this
with
choice
like
up.
pink spots. The Carolina Reaper has darker spots.
All right, y'all keep
So
talking.
this one,
Okay, so it's red with pink spots.
or like lighter spots. The Carolina Reaper one is red with darker spots.
So wait, Christine, is this the
Okay,
Carolina
alright.
Reaper one?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
No.
That's the Cayenne one.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's the Cayenne one.
I feel like Andrew's fucking baiting me right now. He's, no,
No, I wouldn't do that
that's
to
the-
you. That's I know how people feel about spicy shit. So
But I don't even see. Now I'm nervous though because I don't even see a Carolina Reaper in. Oh, this is what a Carolina Reaper looks like.
Oh, okay, I see the difference
See?
now. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's sort
if
of
this
like
is-
dark red and light red.
put your
Yeah.
hand behind
So yeah, the Cayenne is the one with the lighter
Yeah.
spots on it.
Oh, my hand too close.
all right,
I don't-
cheers.
I don't know if I should do this.
Oh man, that's pretty.
Oh, that's
fucking
not so
hot.
bad. That's easy.
I don't know, man. It's making my fucking tongue sting.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, dude.
I don't even feel that.
Oh, buddy, spit it out.
I'm gonna.
Go ahead.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that shit stings.
Oh, you guys aren't lasting a fucking second on hot ones.
Different
Oh.
vessel.
Yeah.
But like that feels easier than a jalapeno.
Listen. Oh, I think the jalapeno burned more, but it's a different kind of burn.
Yeah,
The
this got
jalapeno
under my
one?
tongue.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
My mind is blown right now.
We have to, at least then, if we don't spin it, we have to wrap up with you eating the Carolina Reaper then. 'cause
Exactly. Yeah. We'll
we
go
gotta
through
see
this,
it.
the movie thing, and then we'll let you do the Carolina. Fuck. I can't believe you don't think that that's potent.
He's a hot sauce
I love
champ.
spicy food. Like that's my thing. I'm sure the Carolina Reaper will cross a line for me. But there was this hot sauce I was using for a while. It was Carolina Reaper black garlic, and I would put that shit on everything. It was so good. She tried a drop of it and had to put her face over the air conditioner.
It didn't help, but I was desperate. I couldn't talk after trying that hot sauce. I want to like hot sauce and like spicy things. I genuinely want to like them, and sometimes I'll like really enjoy the flavor, and I just can't handle it like right now.
Whew, I feel like that.
What'd you get?
We got cayenne. Oh,
That's light work, son.
it's like that Dave Chappelle skit. My lip is sweating right now.
To be honest, it's different. I think if I were to have like a cayenne hot sauce, I would not be having this feeling. If I were to eat a jalapeno, I would be not having this feeling.
Exactly.
But,
this is just concentrated in a fucking jelly bean.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'll do
And
the
it's-
Carolina Reaper with Andrew, even though I'm going to regret it and
Hell yeah.
probably
It's
have
just
to use
stuck in my
ice as
teeth.
toilet
Like I'm
paper.
still getting it. It's just warm.
Well, I chewed it a couple times, and then when it burned underneath my
Ready
tongue,
for
I
it.
just swallowed it. I was like, forget it.
I
It's
don't
not
want
gonna
to
help
do
the
that,
beer
though.
flavor either.
No, not at
No,
all.
it's not. It's the most.
My sternum is pretty warm right now. So, what are some movies you guys are into?
Like before they start
TV
talking
shows,
about
movies?
real movies, we're gonna get into the real shit. I like Rush Hour 1, 2, and 3. Fast and Furious 1 through 9, all dope. Lion King was cool too, but
Wait, the new one or like the old one?
I prefer the original.
Yeah, you and me both. You and every time they try to make like a real version of something. Look at Cats. Taylor Swift looks like a fucking psycho in that.
Nah, fuck that movie.
Like, yeah, no, thank you. And anytime they try
Fuck
to remake Cats, like, why is that a good idea? Why does anyone ever greenlight that fucking movie?
Whoever greenlit Cats being remade, like made into a real movie, can like fucking die.
They all make fun of me for liking bad movies, and
What
I
bad
think
movies do
they're
you
great.
like?
Okay, so no, hold on.
You just named them.
My point is always that Andrew doesn't really actually like movies, except for Rush Hour and Fast and Furious. Like, other than that, like, not a movie guy.
Take it or leave it. Like it's whatever to me.
I've convinced him to watch some with me, that some you've liked, some you haven't. There's been at least 2 movies that afterwards he looked at me like, why do you rewatch these, and why did you make me watch
Oh,
it?
yo, Mysterious Skin was such a fucked up movie. It's like, why would anyone watch this for pleasure? This makes no sense.
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, you shouldn't. Don't look it up.
It's a very heavy plot movie. Joseph Gordon-Levitt a long time ago.
See, you lost me there. Heavy plot. Nah.
Yeah, it's a
Very heavy.
race the
Don't
car.
don't
Be
wanna
a
say.
robot.
Oh
it's-
God, do you like Drumline, Andrew? They're asking if you like Drumline.
Bro, Drumline.
Yo, shout out to Nadav.
Shout out to
Nadav
Nadav.
gets
You
it.
try to play those drum parts. Nick Cannon's a god, son.
It's a lesson about becoming a man.
So wait, what is this?
Sorry, back to
What
whatever.
was it? Mysterious
Mysterious
Skin
Skin
or
or
something?
Mysterious Skin. It's hard to find. It's not on like a streaming platform. It took
Okay.
me a couple years to track down a DVD copy. I still like buy DVDs.
Mhm.
And displays them prominently in our living room like that's acceptable.
I'm even if I don't put them on all the time, but I'm not like, I only buy specific movies and like DVDs like that maybe aren't like a movie or whatever. I buy very specific things, so I don't have like a super extensive collection or anything.
Okay.
Although I have recently embarked on the endeavor of purchasing the DVD for everything that Paul Rudd is credited as being in. like-
That's a fucking
Which is
cool goal.
ridiculous.
That's a cool
It-
goal, though.
It's a 3-page
It's
list.
pretty. That is pretty ridiculous. That it's 3 fucking pages.
It includes short films, made-for-TV films. I actually, one of my friends gifted me one of his short films on a DVD compilation. I thought I wasn't going to even be able to find stuff like that. So that is something that I will end up buying a bunch of movies that I don't actually care about, because he's been in them just for the sake of the collection. But I do love Paul Rudd, and I could watch anything that he's done, and
And that could be a whole podcast by itself.
it could.
You
But
should start a Paul Rudd podcast. Do you know how many people would fucking watch it? Look, see, Paul Rudd hearts. There's one subscriber already.
You got one subscriber right there. Great.
Bingo.
The best. I love him. He does not do the best movies all the time.
Doesn't even do the good movies all the time.
But he is good in everything he does. Actually, one of my favorite movies, again, there's a reason why it's not like some big mainstream movie. It's not like the best thing that's ever happened, but it was the second thing I had ever seen him in, because obviously I saw him in Clueless, which is a good
Obviously,
movie.
I had no idea he was in that movie.
You had never seen it until last year.
Jesus Christ, Andrew.
Not a
I
movie
don't
guy.
watch movies.
Touche.
A Paul Rudd movie that I loved a lot is 2 Days. It's about a guy who's planning on taking his own life in 2 days, and he hires a documentary crew to follow him around for his last 2 days. It's like, that's all it is. It's very low budget. I just love it, and I loved him doing that. And that's like one of his early examples of doing like a serious role, because for a long time he was just doing like all the comedy roles, and that's where he was getting kind of put. And he's done a couple serious ones since then that are also, I think, good. But I love that one. It's really short. It's like 89 minutes or something like that, or 84 or something. But to your question before, Mysterious Skin is about a boy who grows up and then re-meets someone like from childhood, and they were both abused by their like sports team,
Little League coach.
And one of them remembers, one of them doesn't remember. And it's kind of like, that's the underlying theme. It's very heavy.
It's real dark, man. It's not a feel-good film.
I
would
like
imagine
good
Disney
films,
doesn't
but
fucking make that movie, so it
Yeah,
wouldn't
I
be
think,
a good film.
The mommies will know this. It's a white bummer.
It's a white bummer. What are some movies you like, Jordan? I mean, I know Andrew's not a movie guy, but are you a movie or show guy?
I will say that I've watched a ton of movies, and I don't pay it. I realize that while I'm watching movies, I'm not paying attention, and then I'll be like, "What the fuck is going on right now?" And then I'll just be like, "Oh, I'm never gonna watch that again." But Dark Knight is probably my favorite movie.
Do your Bane voice.
That's the Dark Knight Rises. God, Andrew, God. I do have a pretty good Bane voice. If you ever see me in person, catch me doing that shit. That and Dumb and Dumber. Could watch Dumb and Dumber every day of my life, probably. And
so one of my favorite lines of all time, Jordan, comes from that movie, and I almost fucking pee my pants laughing every time. And it's when they're reading the newspaper, and he's sounding everything out, and he keeps going Dude, I fucking turned purple laughing, because there are so many good lines in it, like the pull over, no, it's a cardigan, but thanks for noticing. Like, so many good lines. And then have you ever watched the unedited one when he kicks the door in the bathroom?
Yep.
And he's got like a bush underneath his cheetah underwear, and you're like, Jesus Christ, he was an NHL Boston Bruin at that time.
Yep, Cam Neely. With that too, like I remember I got that on VHS when I was like 9 or 10, so I was watching that when I was real young, and all the jokes went over my head entirely. But as you rewatch it as an adult, picking up on everything that I missed, like I could remember certain things, but like you don't remember what the underlying meaning was. I would be like repeating that, and my mom would be like, "Hey, don't say that."
That's like watching 90s Nick, man. If you've ever watched some of the 90s Nick stuff, you'll catch sentences where you're like, "Did he just fucking say that?"
It's like, bro, this is an adult show.
Disgusting.
Okay, also their creator is disgusting.
Oh yeah, come on. He had fucking rubber nipples that he was selling to people on their knees.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
I'd also say Grease.
That's right. I forgot
Really?
you were Grease.
I love Grease, bro.
Grease is a fucking great movie.
Grease and Matilda.
Oh, so I use the
Bangers.
Trunchbull reference often. So I work in the medical field, and I work with a lot of Trunchbulls. And when people hear me say that word, there's a select. So I have a lot of young people that work under me, and then I have people my age and older. and they don't get it. They're like, what the fuck is a trunch bull? But when they Google it, they're
Yeah, it's
like,
like, you know what
oh, she's a fucking,
Yeah.
I gotta watch that movie now. She's a super trunch bull. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but, so we've reached 2 hours and 5 minutes. There's still a Carolina Reaper on the board. There's also a habanero. Do you want to eat one or both? Not at the same time. No, I don't want
Yeah,
you to
definitely not at the same time.
have like a fucking asthma attack.
I think Christine will have the habanero, and I'll do the
you just
Reaper.
threw her under the bus?
No,
Lightning
I'm
round.
gonna
Send
do
some questions,
both
let's go.
because I don't have to answer any more questions after this, so it's okay.
I'll answer all of them while you guys are crying. Let's go.
There you
That's
go.
it.
So,
You better have questions prepared for while I'm eating this, because it's not gonna be fun for me by any means.
So, what can I ask Jordan? Jordan, what are some of the bands that you started in
cheers.
where it went towards going to the direction you're in now? I'm gonna go
I
with
was-
Carolina Reaper. Wait, is
I
that
was
the-
only
no.
in.
Oh, that sucked.
I was only in one band before, and it was my baby. I started it with my friend and nurtured it and booked shows and managed everything and did all that. So this is one band and one band only before this one.
Oh boy.
And we're hurting. Uh-oh.
It's not ideal.
It's not
by
as bad
any
as the other ones.
The habanero's not?
It's gonna catch
No,
up with
the
her.
Reaper.
I can guarantee it, because I can feel it. And if
Yeah,
I can
it's
feel it, there's a
building.
problem.
Remember how you were talking about crescendos, Jordan? Like climaxes?
Here we go.
Oh, I just got fucking face drilled by this Carolina
Nasty.
Reaper.
We'll get there.
Oh,
Drooling and
someone's gonna
shit.
be on the. Gross.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a grower. That's just it hangs out for a second.
Whew.
It's like right in the back of the throat.
I'm starting to get a little shiny. Yeah, it is in the back of the throat.
Okay, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you're gonna have a tough time.
Whew. Can feel it in the sternum. There's.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
coming from
Yeah,
Sneaks up
bottom
on
to
you.
top.
I'm gonna chug this.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna finish. Yeah.
Yeah, that lives right in the back.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever put that pepper in a chili or anything.
But it's like, but what is the point of that? Like, that's not even enjoyable. Then.
No, dude, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Like,
It's not great.
it's not enjoyable. Fucking hell.
I sound like a
See,
fucking COPD
I was
or
so
coughing
upset
from
that I
these
could.
peppers.
I've not had Nashville hot chicken, but I know that they have levels to Nashville hot chicken, and that was one of my goals of last year was like get some like hot ass Nashville hot chicken just to experience it. Hattie B's just for her to be like, you don't want this, honey, and then be like, yeah, I do. Give me it. Like, I'm gonna like swallow this chicken sandwich, and then just like be miserable
This
for 2
sucks.
hours. Damn. That was a nice way to derail the interview.
Yeah.
So the Nashville hot chicken. Oh fuck, that is so
Oh
hot.
fuck, it sucks.
Yeah, my forehead's sweating and shit. Real quick before we go, my wife made Nashville hot chicken like a couple months ago, and it tasted awesome. The next day, no bueno.
Of course.
No.
I mean, yeah, that's the risk you're playing. Though. You know, that's the risk you're taking. It's
But
how it
anything
is.
you want to plug before we go over here? Well, oh fuck.
Dude, this fucking is
Uh,
not great.
I'm gonna be playing on Twitch in a little later tonight. If anyone wants to watch Phasmophobia.
Are you gonna be on
Hopefully.
the Harborlights Twitch?
Yes.
Oh
And
shit,
then you
dude.
have new music coming, and you're
New music coming.
still got the merch up on your store.
That's correct.
All right, so we will post things over into our Instagram. You guys can post over as well. There's Harbor Lights over in the Twitch chat right there. You can click on it, follow it, make sure to check in. And thank you so much, guys, for coming by and talking. And it was great to share beers. And I hope that in the future we can do this interview in person at the brewery.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
speaking of outdoor music festivals, that's kind of the goal of this. The more I rack up these interviews, the more likely I can get us an outdoor music festival here in New Hampshire. So we want to do a
Beautiful.
beer and music festival, and I would love for you guys to be on that music festival.
I love
Oh,
both
yeah,
of those
yeah.
things. Also, shout out Crumb to Mama because
Yes.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Crumb the mommy.
that's a real mommy.
All right, folks, you have a great night, and as always, thank you for coming, and cheers.
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 Fuck. Oh.